I want to get your perspective on Dr. Reese and his controversy. So, how do you feel about medical doctors attacking Dr. Reese? What goes through your mind?
I don't know. I think everybody kind of has their own lane.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't want to go super deep into medical monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, Dr. Reese has his lane and the medical system has their lane. And what Dr. Reese is offering is so polar different that I think a lot of people just don't know how to react to that because it's not the everyday tried and true what they've learned.
Mm.
And so he comes off as different, but different is good.
Yeah, absolutely. So working with Dr. Reese in general, what do you find is the hardest part about the virtual clinic?
It's great because it gives a lot of opportunity to meet people all across the world and across the country.
Yeah.
What's amazing about it is we have a reach that most clinics don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing to me. And just starting with the clinic previously as a client, it was incredible because I was looking for answers. And the clinic was something different than what I was finding. And so it closed the gap.
Interesting. So what do you feel most attracted you to the clinic and Dr. Reese's philosophy towards healing head to toe?
I think the thing that attracted me the most was that he did think differently because I was going through situations where the providers that I was seeing, they weren't giving me the answers I was looking for. They would just kind of give me patches, and it would be temporary, and then I would revert back to hurting again.
Yeah.
And with Dr. Reese's program, it's really unique. It was the first time somebody put it into a process, kind of like a three-legged stool. If you have a three-legged stool and one of the pieces is missing, the stool is going to fall over and not be supported.
Mm-hmm.
Since he approaches health, head-to-toe healing differently with mindfulness and nutrition and posture, it stabilizes the body.
Yeah.
And there's no one else out there that I've found that has had that same mindset and perspective for healing. And that's what really attracted me to the clinic because people come in and they have ailments, but once they get started with us, the whole body corrects itself, given the right nutrition and the right environment. It's designed to heal, and he creates the right environment for it to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. And so if you don't mind, what were some of the symptoms that you came into the clinic dealing with? And, if you remember, how long did it take to resolve some of those issues?
Sure. The main reason why I came into the clinic was I was told I had TMJ. I got into the dental chair and had a cleaning, and then that cleaning went into, you've got something else. And then I got in the chair again, and you've got something else, and then you have TMJ. And I had pain in my upper back, neck, and shoulders, and I really had no idea that it was TMJ. At least that's what I was told. I didn't know. I was experiencing pain, and I'd go get a massage or go to the chiropractor to try to get an adjustment to get relief, but it was just temporary. And then once I started working with Dr. Reese and I saw what he had put together, it made sense to me. It made sense because instead of just doing one portion of the puzzle, he was looking at the whole body.
I always say that when we're looking for symptoms, it's like taking a microscope and looking at the body instead of looking at the body in its entirety. You're missing everything else when you take a microscope and look at just the symptom. Because what is that going to fix? It still has a root. Every disease, everything that's classified as a symptom or ailment comes from something. It's not your body just falling apart.
Yeah.
It's not. Our bodies are divine machines, and they just don't fall apart for any type of reason besides something is not going right.
One other thing I noticed was what was really different is once I got started with the program, I didn't realize my body had been falling apart for a long time.
Yeah.
And once I started working with the team at the Peace Over Pain Clinic, I discovered through the discovery analysis process that there was much more going on than just my TMJ, which they told me I had, which I don't know if I had. Sometimes I think that diagnoses are given, but maybe they really aren't there,
Wow.
you know? But like I was saying, I went through the discovery analysis process, and it was really eye-opening. It showed me that my posture was off. I had a hip higher than the other. My hip and pelvis was twisted. I had a shoulder higher than the other. And no wonder I was aching all the time, and I was in pain. And I'm not one of those types of people that complains about how I feel. I just kind of go through my day and deal with it. But once I saw what was really happening and going on, I was ready to get started with the program.
Yeah.
And then the changes started happening in such a short time.
Yeah. Wow.
It was incredible.
And so just to change tracks a little bit, I wanted to get your opinion or your point of view about Dr. Reese and his controversy. So what do you think is the main reason why middle-aged women are the demographic that are going to Dr. Reese and trying to reverse their health for the better? Why is he mainly getting middle-aged women? Do you have a theory on that?
I think my theory is middle-aged women have been raising a family. They have full-time occupations.
Yeah.
They have so much on their plate that they're ready to reach out to somebody that can make a difference in their life. And Dr. Reese has some unique answers. And like for myself, when I discovered Dr. Reese, I was very busy. I'm still very busy. And I don't have time to figure things out on my own. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, typically by nature. However, it probably would have taken me about 5 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
And with that, maybe I would have had an okay success, but I figured why not dive in to the program, get the expert help, and plug in and let the experts get me through the process as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
And literally within, I want to say about 70 days, everything shifted.
Really?
I was going for a walk in my neighborhood, and my hips felt like they were in the right spot. It was weird. It was like consciously. Or I'd be driving in my car. I used to drive, and I'd literally be sitting there, and one hip felt higher than the other. It no longer felt that way anymore. It was incredible. It's like the switch happened. Not overnight. It was gradual. But all of those modalities with meditation and posture and the nutritional element were so key for me to recover.
Absolutely. Just like you said, it's like a 3-legged chair. You need each and every one. There's a reason why he just doesn't do it separately, because it would take away from the full effect. If you want to heal the body head to toe, you have to do all 3 modalities, because that's how a healthy body operates, off those 3 macro methods: mindfulness, posture, and nutrition. So when a client isn't healing as they would like to, why do you think that is?
I think there's a couple factors with that. One, they haven't given their body enough time. A lot of times the individuals that are with us are 50 plus, 50 to 70. and their bodies have been in pain for a really long time, and they're thinking they're going to have instant results.
Yeah.
And usually there's a process. We have a coined phrase. Sometimes you have to go through a healing crisis first before you get to the other side to be pain-free. And sometimes when people experience that healing hurts segment, it frightens them.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's wrong? This isn't working. And really, they have to go through that threshold to get to the other side first. And we work with them together as a team to try to encourage them and just give them the reinforcement that they need and support they need to get to the other side. But ultimately, they get to the other side, and they're so delighted that it worked well. Also, sometimes it doesn't work for clients when they don't put 100% effort in.
Yeah.
We have some people that are all in, but we have other people where they think that, I'll just do posture and I'll do mindfulness, but I'm not quite ready for the 100% of the nutrition. Sometimes we have clients that do just portions of the program. And unfortunately, if they don't do it all, it's going to take them a lot longer, or they may be inhibited from succeeding with the program.
Yeah. So what is it like working with Dr. Reese?
Working with Dr. Reese is interesting. He's a very creative thinker and out-of-the-box thinker, and I think that's why the clinic is so successful. Because if he didn't think out of the box, the program wouldn't be here. We need somebody out there that looks for alternative solutions for people and provides those. And you know what? The bottom line is the program is not for everybody because not everybody appreciates that approach. Some of his comments online rub people the wrong way, and it turns them off. And that it just might not be for them. Kind of our ideal client is somebody that has tried it all. They're health conscious already, and they're willing to invest in themselves, not only money, but time and just the commitment. And not everybody's willing to do that.
Yeah, like a lifestyle change.
It's completely a lifestyle change. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because the people that are really successful with us are the ones that are all in. They do the nutrition, the mindfulness, and the posture therapy. And what most of the time we find, 99.9% of the time, is they stick with it forever. Because once they get through the program, they feel great, probably within 70 to 90 days. Sometimes it takes longer because they've been in pain for such a long time.
Yeah. What, 50, 60, 70 years to not even 1 year, like a couple of months, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's an immense difference that we're able to heal the body in that short amount of time. It's like a pin dot compared to their lifetime.
Yeah. It's like a sprint instead of a marathon.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people expect to get through that race really quick, but they have us for a year. So it's great.
Absolutely. So do the clients take well to the mindfulness program?
When the clients get started with the program and they enter the mindfulness e-course, it's pretty eye-opening for them. Initially, they think, who knows how this is going to help? And a lot of times initially, they have many preconceived ideas. But actually, through the process, subliminally, it makes a huge difference for them. A lot of them, I find, they go back and listen to the course over and over.
Really?
They do. Multiple times a week. I mean, they're given different e-courses each week. And a lot of them find it very beneficial.
So circling back around to your coaching, is there any clients that really stick out to you, client cases that stick out to you where it's just a notable experience, and it looked like it was going in one direction, but it ended up resolving itself almost like a fairy tale.
Yeah, actually, there's one that comes to mind right away.
Hmm.
There's somebody that I've been working with this last year, and he had extreme sciatica pain,
Mm,
and he was literally on the verge of scheduling surgery. He
really?
went to a couple doctors, was interviewing them to find out who the surgeon was going to be, and then the mindfulness kicked in too, and it switched. It totally switched. Probably about day 70, 67 to 70, it
Hmm.
just switched, and he started feeling better, where his pain threshold before was off the charts, like
Really?
literally like 20.
Really?
Usually it's only, the scale's 1 to 10. His was
Yeah.
a 20,
20.
and he started feeling better. He canceled the appointment for surgery, and now it's moderate. And he's
Hmm.
not completely out of pain,
Yeah.
but he's living life for the first time in quite a few years, which is
Wow.
incredible.
No, that's amazing. So in these relationships with the client, is it just you and the client, or does Dr. Reese ever come in and help out where you need help in, or just give you advice on how to address certain scenarios?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dr. Reese is involved throughout the process.
Okay.
So we have different times throughout the 120-day process that we're highly involved with the client.
Hmm.
And we do collaboration with Dr. Reese on protocols and making sure we're on track on what the client's needs are to get to that healing process.
Hmm. Interesting. Thank you. So what would be one of the more challenging experiences you've had with clients or just being on the program in general?
For the most part, there's not a lot. I mean, but there are cases when individuals have preconceived ideas of what they can or cannot do.
Mm,
And sometimes it's frustrating when they're not willing to try something out of the box or different because they've been in trauma for a long time,
yeah.
and I don't blame them. So it's really hard. It's hard for them to get over that threshold sometimes.
And so I can understand that, from my perspective. I was in the same shoes where I didn't believe anything Kevin had to say. I was like, I'm not going to get better by doing posture therapy on the floor. I'm not going to get better by taking nutrition. I already tried these things, but it's definitely different from the modern alternative health approach. And so that's why I think he came up with head to toe healing, because it's a whole new field.
It is a whole new field. And what people don't, well, I think what people are missing sometimes is the fact that with posture therapy, a lot of times the electrical channel within our body is blocked.
Yeah.
And so the flow of information cannot get through the body as well as the nutrients because things are pinched.
Hmm.
And with them not flowing properly, they're not going to heal.
Yeah.
Or not heal as quickly. And then adding that with proper nutrition and avoiding the poor far foods, it makes a huge difference for people.
Yeah.
And once the onboard computer is fixed and worked on regularly, just their mind starts to clear. The
Mhm.
brain fog goes away. The little things that used to bother them and irritate them and make them upset, it just goes away. It's like a cloud. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a dark cloud that lifts off their head and moves away, and then they can think clearly.
Well said. Well said. Really appreciate you, Karen, and everything you do. And again, thank you for coming out.
It's a pleasure to be here and work with you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Jumpstart your head-to-toe healing journey with the Dr. Reese book trilogy. Peace Over Pain is the cult classic that explains how head-to-toe healing works and how the medical monopoly doesn't. Reverse the Cause lays out the root causes to over 60 chronic conditions. And Dinner with Dr. Reese is a unique cookbook that contains 100 recipes without the destructive poor for foods. Together, all 3 books set you on a path to head-to-toe healing. Get yours today on Amazon, Audible, or peaceoverpain.com. Also, if you'd like to ask a question, tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Dr. Reese Live.